Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I am Regina Monique, and this is Woman of Your Word. And in today's video, we are going to be doing another Bible journaling tutorial. And I'm going to be journaling in my Journaling Bible by Dayspring. As you know, the supplies that I use in this video are going to be linked down in the description. This is going to be our inspiration for today, and I thought it was super cute, super simple, and I hope that you will paint with me. So we're going to be taking our verse out of Psalm 121 using my Illustrating Bible by Dayspring. And this is my second entry in this Bible, and so I hope that you're going to paint along with me. So we're going to start out painting this blue background. I have just a light blue color here. You can use any color shade of blue you want to use. The thing about Bible journaling and just art in general is that you can do what you want to do. You know, you don't have to do exactly what someone else does. You can make it your own and do what you want to do. It's yours to create. It's your own creativity. It's your style. It's your flow. It's yours, and so make it your own. But I'm going to use this light blue color just to get the background. As you can see, I have the words covered with washi tape because I do not want to cover the words in this Bible. So we're getting that blue paint down, getting that background painted, and I try to make it to where the paper is not ghosting behind the paint. So I want to make it thick enough or dark enough or opaque enough to where the paper is not ghosting through the paint. All right. Sometimes it's helpful to go ahead and have your colors mixed beforehand, but I wanted to mix my colors on camera so that you guys can see. So I'm making a couple different greens here. I have my regular green, which is the green in the middle, and then I'm making a darker green with the regular green and then that blue, which is an ultramarine blue that I'm mixing it with. And then I'm taking a lighter green and the regular green and then making a lighter shade than that. So I've got two, actually now three, no, four shades of green. I can count, I promise. But I'm using the green to go ahead and paint the stems for these daisies. And I want there to be some, just some dimension, some shadowing. So that's why I want to use different greens for the stems. So the stems are going to be starting out with this lighter green, and then I'm going to go in with the darker green, try to give it a little shadow, and then go back over it with the lighter green just to give it some depth and dimension. And then when I paint the leaves, they're going to be actually darker than the stems, so that everything is not so uniform that you can actually like see the differences. And you can do as many stems as you want. Again, make it your own. The whole point of this is to really just get the paint on the page and let's be creative, not to think about it too much. That's something that I'm learning with Bible journaling and Bible art, is that you can't think about it too much. If you think about it too much, it's just not gonna be right. But the moment you just release your need to be perfect is the moment where you'll see, wow, this is really beautiful. So get rid of the need to want to be perfect and just get the paint on the page. With acrylic paint, things are fixable, like they're easily fixed anyway. And so Just get the paint on the page. If you mess up, you can always cover it up. So now, like I said, I'm going in to paint those leaves, and they are darker than the stems. And it's hard to explain how I'm painting these leaves, but I'm just adding pressure to the paintbrush and then lifting it up. So at the start of the leaf, like I'm pressing down on the paintbrush to kind of make it, the start of that leaf really wide or really fat. And then when I get to the tip of the leaf, I lift the brush back up to get that point. It's really hard to tell on camera what I'm doing, but I hope that makes sense. Or you can simply draw two half circles connected. Gives you the same shape. But I'm basically applying pressure as I go down. And then to get the tip of that leaf, I release the pressure, coming back up. So I'm adding some lighter green to those stems just to give it a little dimension, like I said. And now we're gonna go in with the yellow, and we're gonna start to paint the center of our daisies. Now I have a couple different yellows. I have that basic yellow right there, and then I've got this mustard yellow because I want it to be yellow, obviously, but I don't want it to be like bright yellow. I want it to be kind of a goldish color. So I'm starting out with that bright yellow, and then I'm taking that darker yellow and just stippling it on the top of that, that bright yellow to get the color that I want. But again, you can do whatever you want to do. Your daisy doesn't even have to be yellow in the middle if you don't want it to be. It's totally up to you. There is so much freedom in art. You can do whatever you want to do. Just have fun doing it. Don't think about it too much. Just get the paint on the page. And we've got a couple more that I'm gonna do down toward the bottom. And then we'll move on to the petals. Now the reason why I'm starting off with the center of the flowers first and doing the petals, I'm putting the center a little bit above the actual stem of the flower, because the petals, as you'll see in a moment, they're actually gonna be long enough that they're going to look like they're gonna cover that stem. So it looks like the stem is actually behind the petals. You'll see what I mean in just a moment. So that's why I'm leaving a little bit of space there. But we're gonna take our white paint, and using that same round paintbrush, I'm just washing it off every time. We're gonna do our petals. Now I struggled a little bit with these petals at first, but after about the third or fourth one, you'll see how I use that same pressure or that same technique that I use to do those leaves with the petals. So here I'm just kind of drawing the shape with the tip of the paintbrush, but that would have taken me forever. And so you'll see in a moment how I'm going to apply pressure at the beginning and then release that pressure once I get to the edge of the stem, which is exactly what I'm doing now. So see how I just kind of swipe it on? So at the beginning, I'm like pressing the paintbrush down, and then when I get to the edge of the petal, I'm lifting it right back up. And then if I can, if I want to shape it after the fact, I can do that. I can shape it, the round part at the edge of the petal after the fact. But doing it this way made it go by much faster than trying to draw, you know, each petal out. See how I'm applying pressure and then lifting it right back up to get the shape that I desire. Now this is sped up, obviously, but it took me so incredibly long to do that first one. But once I got it, and it went really quickly. So I'm taking that paint and I'm going back over the petals because that blue background is ghosting through the white paint and I don't want that to be seen. And so I'm taking the white paint and just, you know, going back over those petals to make it opaque. Now there are some paints that you can get. I'm basically using very cheap paints. I'm using Apple Barrel paints and then Anita's paints from Hobby Lobby and Walmart. They're very cheap. They are less than $1, or maybe they are like right at $1, but they're very cheap. And so they're not as thick as some of your more expensive paints, but these paints work just fine. And if I have to go back over them to make them darker, I don't mind doing that. And I'm making this one a different size. Make them different sizes. Again, you can do what you want. It's your art. Make it look the way you want it to look. But I made this one a little bit smaller. Or at least I tried to make it a little bit smaller. It came out okay. So you see here, I got it. Like I got the hang of it. So you can see how fast I'm putting those petals on. Applying pressure at the beginning and then releasing that pressure when I get to the edge or the end of the petal. It went a lot faster. They're so cute. And you can see what I mean now that I've got both of these done, how the stem looks like it's behind the face of the flower. That's why I left it a little bit of room. And here you can see how the petals are overlapping some of the stems and the leaves. That's totally okay to do that. All right, so now I'm just taking more of that yellow and just cleaning up that white paint in the center of the flower. I'm just going around the edge of that flower to get rid of, you know, where I started to do the petals. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna say that a million times, that it does not have to be perfect. Nothing in nature is perfect anyway. But I just want you guys to really get it in your mind, because it's something that I had to really get in my mind, that you have to get rid of that needs to have it look like exactly like someone else's. You have to decide that you're going to make it your own. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to paint 2 more of these daisies, but I'm going to paint 2 more that are actually not yet bloomed or not yet blooming. So I'm going to paint them still closed up, if that makes sense. I guess you would call those the buds. I don't know what the proper terms are, but you guys get what I mean. And it's just going to be that yellow color. I'm going to put some brighter yellow on top of that. So I started out with that gold mustardy color, that I'm putting some bright yellow on top of that, and then on top of that I'm going to go over it with just a little bit of white. And this is just to give it some dimension. And I'm going to do one more here since I have the space. Now you could have added some grass to yours at the bottom. That would have been really nice. You could have done some clouds in the sky. Like, you could have basically done anything you wanted to do to enhance your painting. Going over it with that yellow and then white again. Very subtly too, not too heavy. And adding some leaves here. These leaves didn't turn out as great as the first ones did, but again, it's nature, it's not perfect. Doesn't have to be. Adding a couple more just to kind of fill it up a little bit, get rid of some of that empty space. This is so relaxing for me. And I would have never considered myself an artist. Like, I'm a creative person, but when it came to art, I did not ever consider myself an artist. But the more I do this, I'm like, maybe God did give me that gift. I love to see that tape come off. Oh, that's so satisfying to watch. Those clean edges. So of course I'm going to clean up that space around the book and the verse. And just making that line up with the rest of the page where I took the tape off. Now, you don't have to use washi tape or any of that if you don't want to. I just like clean edges. In my first journaling Bible, or my original journaling Bible, I didn't really use washi tape ever at all. But when I started using it, I was like, oh, I like this a lot. So I'm drying it with my heat tool because I did a lot of layers of that paint. And so I'm making sure that it's very, very dry before I start my lettering. And I'm drying this on a low setting. You can use a blow dryer if you don't have a heat tool, but just make sure you do it on a low setting because you don't want to burn your page. So I'm underlining the verse, and now I'm going to start my lettering of the verse. And again, you guys have seen me letter a million times. But the verse basically says, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from which cometh my help. Where does my help come from? It comes from the Lord. I love this verse because it puts into perspective that I don't do anything or can't do anything without the help of God. Everything that I'm able to do, all the strength that I get, all the strength that I have comes from the Lord. And that if I need anything in any situation, all I have to do is look to him and he will help me. And it's just as simple as that. I love simple verses like that. You know, we complicate things. The Bible is not complicated at all. But we, in our humanness and in our human thinking, we complicate everything. So I penciled the verse, and then I went over it one time with my Pigma Micron pen in size 0.05. And now I'm doing a little faux calligraphy. So I'm basically thickening up all of the down strokes to my letters to make it look like calligraphy, but it's actually faux calligraphy. So it looks like I actually did that with a brush pen or a calligraphy pen. And that's it. Turned out super good, super cute. I love it. I'm just gonna date the bottom here because I like to date all of my entries. But that's basically it, you guys. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. And I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.